Now, what is an academic freedom? Okay. Generally, there are three classifications of the academic freedom. Okay. On the part of the school, it's the right to choose who may teach, what may be taught, okay, and how to teach. Okay. So there was a case, UP against I think the civil service, where although the faculty was dismissed by the civil service, but still it was hired by UP. Okay, so the reason is that according to UP, they have the academic freedom to choose whom we teach, what may be taught, okay, and how it should be taught. So that is the academic freedom. Okay, even the faculty has the right as well how to teach. Okay, and the right to do research and publish the work. So they have the right to 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 teach. The school has also the right who may teach the subject. Of course, we subject to the qualification, and the qualification is he may have the faculty must have a master's degree. Okay, or that is for higher education. Okay, or for a board passer if it's a lower education or deep ed. Now, so what will comprise this academic freedom? Okay, anything as long as it is um, part of the discussion. Okay, faculty has the levy. Okay, levy has how to teach. Okay, and the manner of his teaching. But again, there will be conflict later on between the academic freedom of the teacher and the academic freedom of the institution, because the institution might impose as to how it should be taught. Okay, okay, with certain guidelines how to deliver it, like the production of a syllabus and or a module. Okay, okay, and with the corresponding number of days that the student should attend. Okay, and if the faculty will not be attending any more the class, then probably that may be a violation of the guidelines of the school. Okay, so both between the academic freedom of the administration and the academic freedom of the teacher, then the academic freedom of the school prevails over the academic freedom of the faculty. Okay, so would it include the right in the academic freedom of the school to expel a student? Yes, that is included in the academic freedom. They have the right to choose who may be admitted in the school. Okay, there was a case where the law school requires an entrance exam. Okay, the legal education board, which is in charge of the administration of all legal education, it's not part of the school actually, but it is a board of the lawyers. Okay, to screen and protect the education, legal education, meaning those who are studying in law school. Okay, requires an entrance examination if you want to study in law school. Okay, so but I think the Supreme Court, it's in the Supreme Court decision where that actually violates the academic freedom of the school. Why? Because the legal education board is not a school. Okay, it's just a body that will regulate education, but as to the school's right who may be admitted, no one can dictate to them who will be admitted. So it's a violation of the academic freedom of the school, because they have the right to choose whom may be admitted in school, and not anybody else, not even the legal education board. Okay, so right now that was not continued. Okay, so it can go to school now without complying that screening of passing the eligibility to study in law school. But before, they were required to pass, okay, the legal education board. In our case, it's not a legal education board who decides, but just a school. Okay, so I passed and I was able to graduate. But in right now, there was a new um, guidelines where it was imposed by legal education board, but that was again nullified because it is a violation of the academic freedom of the school as to who may be admitted. It is not anybody else, but it is the right of the school who may be admitted in their in for in school for them to study in their school. Okay, so but there's one thing about the legal education board. Before, if you are if you are a graduate of LLB or bachelor's degree, it's a master's equivalent. But right now they elevate it such that it is now equivalent to doctoral degree. Okay, that is why they replace the name of uh, bachelor's of laws to Juris Doctor. Okay, there was a battle between Commission on Higher Education and Legal Education Board, but the they are saying that it's equivalent to a doctoral degree because before you study a doctor the that education the bachelor of laws before you pass first a pre-law subject which is 4 years. Okay, so and in fact the training and even the units it's more than what a doctoral student gets. Okay, so I think it's three times even, okay, comparing to the number of units. Okay, but the Commission on Higher Education said that it's just a it's not a postdoctoral, it's not a doctoral degree like where you have master's degree. Okay, it's just similar to medicine where it's just a professional course. Okay, but not a doctoral degree where you have master's degree and in line with the degree programs you have. Okay, so but okay, take note there was still a fight and it's still um, elevated to the Supreme Court because according to them, the legal education board was created even prior to the creation of Commission on Higher Education, which it's it clearly states that the it's under the legal education board, okay, and not the Commission on Higher Education as to what will be its equivalent. Okay, so that will be a question of which one will prevail because under the legal education board it has its power, but here's child which is just created prior to or after the dissolution of the DEX before or Department of Education, Culture and Sports, separating now lower or the deep ed and higher education. Okay, so as to the leveling, the Juris Doctor degree is equivalent now to a doctoral degree. Okay, so in the ranking, the doctoral degree or the Juris Doctor is equivalent to um, a doctoral degree. So so that is the Juris Doctor. No? So for now, that is also a discussion on legal on academic freedom. Okay, so another aspect is the an article also of the Constitution which talks about the family. Okay, so but that was elaborated further in another executive order signed by President Corazon Aquino, okay, the Family Code of the Philippines. Okay, so there may be a question whether both males and females can marry each other. Okay, the answer is found in the law, which is the Family Code of the Philippines, which clearly defines that marriage is a union between man and woman, a permanent union between man and woman for the establishment of conjugal family or family life. Okay, that definition itself prohibits the marriage between man and woman. Okay, unless you change the constitution, probably there will be a marriage between man and a man. Okay, because marriage is a permanent union. Okay, special contract actually. It's a special contract entered into between man and woman for the establishment of a conjugal life. Okay, permanent union because it's a special contract because it's not an ordinary contract where one party can rescind. Okay, and there is a term for the effectivity of the contract, but in that case the marriage is special because it's only between man and woman and there is no expiry date. Okay, you cannot state there in the marriage contract this is only effective for 10 years. After that, the the validity cease to be effective. Okay, no, so it is valid until death or till death do us part. So that's why during marriage you have to promise, okay, both man and the woman that you share, um, that in times of hardships, so magtunga sa kasakit o kalipay, ang kasakit sa babae, ang kalipay sa laki. Okay? So you swear to God that you have to be loyal until the end of your life. Now, can it be entered into by both male? No. Okay? Because the definition itself, a special contract entered into between man and woman. Okay? That definition itself, man and woman, that precludes marriage of similar sex. Okay? Now, do we have divorce? No, we do not have. We call that there are actually two types of divorce, absolute and the not absolute. The not absolute there refers to what we call in the Philippines as the legal separation, where one party or both parties cannot live together, but they are considered marriage. Okay, but for some grounds, of course. Okay, probably the grounds are, well, during election, forcing one party to be affiliated with um, a certain party, okay, or political aspect as affiliations. Okay, forcing a woman to have a um, immoral conduct or even a child. Okay, that may be a ground for legal separation, but still you are considered as married, only that you are off in beds. But if there are grounds when parties, I cannot go deeper into this because this may be a subject in law school. In your case, I'm going to discuss only just a background, okay, for you to understand and to prepare yourself also for a marriage life. Okay, sooner or later you will become part of this one way or another. So in marriage, while the marriage is effective, the party may still file for annulment, okay, or um, declaration of the nullity of the marriage, okay, for some grounds like lesbianism, sexual perversity, um, homosexuality. Those may be grounds, okay. Like if there's a deceit, you don't know that the husband was indeed a gay or homosexual, then it may be a ground for annulment. Or if prior to the marriage, the woman was pregnant other than the husband, and then the husband was deceived, thinking all the while that the child is his, but when the baby comes, it appears to be, um, it looks like the the like look like his kumpari. Okay, so it may be a ground for declaration of the nullity of the marriage when there are deceits. Of course, there are other grounds. Okay, so that may be a subject now of your assignment later on. Okay, what are the grounds for annulment? What are the grounds for declaration of nullity of the marriage? And are the grounds for legal separation? Now, what another thing? Okay, the marriage can be solemnized by a priest, a rabbi, or any um, head of the minister recognized by their religious sect to solemnize, and he must be registered in the civil registrar. Record his name is recorded in the civil registrar as an officiating and who can solemnize marriage. Okay, commander of the military during war, in articulum mortis, or the time of death, when the other party is about to die, and then they declare themselves as husband and wife because they love each other. The commanding officer may solemnize, or even a ship captain or an airplane when the ship is in flight. Okay, or if when the airplane is in flight and the ship is in transit. Okay, now it's a requirement still to get a valid license, which be effective 120 days. When you get that license, which requires birth certificate, okay, and then certificate of no marriage, it is a certificate from the civil registrar that you are not married. um, then you can issue now, you can get that license. Okay, so it's a marriage license valid for 120 days. If there's no marriage happen within 120 days after its issuance, then you have to get another. Okay, now, what? Sabang saba, quiet, quiet, please, quiet. Shh, Andre, ay saba. Pangano magaw sa boss? Wait first, sa ay saba, keep quiet kay nagklase pa ko. Okay? So,